My New Year resolutions look the same every year. Cut to 12% body fat, reach $1 million net worth, find a girlfriend. It's rare for me to actually accomplish any of them in a given year, but I never give up. With every passing year, I lower my standards and try again. Drop to 15% body fat, get a 5% pay raise, go on a single date. Life only goes in one direction. You fake it till you make it. My name's Alan. I just turned 30-something, and I'm tired. Tired of being mediocre, tired of repeating the same old goals. It's time for something to change this year. When it comes to change, one of the first questions that come to my mind is, what am I trying to become? What is my character class? For most of my 20s, the answer was pretty obvious. I wanted to become a charming knight. Life was like a video game. I acquired skills so I could level up. I read an entire book on the power of humor. I got into competitive swing dancing because they all say body movement is the key to a woman's heart. And it kind of worked for the most part. I felt my attractiveness level rising, but it never got to the point where I felt like I've made it. When I look around me, sometimes I see the real charming knights who just carry this naturally confident energy. I want to be like them, but no matter how hard I tried, I just felt like an imposter through and through. I think all of us are, to some extent, guilty of putting on an act for other people. As Shakespeare once wrote, all the world's a stage,
and all the men and women merely players.
And oftentimes, the players become so deeply involved in the game that it's hard to see any way out. They make it their life's purpose to conform to these roles. The career woman, the creative entrepreneur, the attractive man. But these roles are caricatures. They are side characters. They're born out of this innate human desire to generalize and categorize everything and everyone. In trying to become a better copy of these side characters, we are willfully forgetting what it means to be the main character. Because main characters don't do the same things as everybody else. The people that we look up to, as tangible as they may seem, are in our story just side characters. While their stories and achievements can fuel our inspiration, it's important to remember the essence of our adventure is to forge our own way. Sometimes we may find ourselves in commonplace situations, at the gym, on a date. But we, and we alone, can infuse these dull affairs with our own unique flair. We are masters of blending seemingly random elements of our lives to give way to experiences others can't even dream of. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. We are the ones who boldly choose the road not taken, carving our own distinctive path through life's sprawling forest. Now, the question remains, if we are not the side characters that we aspire to be, then who are we? So this is something we've talked about in the past, but this entire conversation was what inspired my video idea, and I want to hear from you again. What is your favorite quality about me?
Definitely your kindness. You're one of the most kind people I've ever met, and it shows in pretty much everything that you do.
So this is just super interesting to me because kindness is one of those things that year after year, it never really showed up in any of my New Year's resolutions, and I never thought to work on it. And it's so fascinating to me that you find that to be one of my most attractive traits.
I mean, I think it's just part of who you are.
So does this mean you don't care that I drive a Mercedes-Benz?
I don't care that you drive a Mercedes-Benz.
Better sell it for a Cybertruck then. So much of my life is planned around my side character weaknesses. I've pretty much become blind to my main character strengths. It's very counterintuitive, but it is oftentimes when you are not trying that you are at your best. I've always been a role player and a storyteller. When I was a kid, I rarely played with other kids. I preferred to play alone. I would run around my front lawn, brandishing an umbrella as a sword, just completely absorbed in a fantasy of my own making. As I grew older, I found myself gravitating towards games like The Sims. Some of my first stories were written using The Sims picture albums, which later led me down an internet rabbit hole to long-form role-playing forums, even erotica. For me, spending time with other people has been a perpetual struggle. Even today, people are just consistently too fast and too loud. Slowness is what feels right to me. I like watching my plants grow and taking longer than a month to read a single book. These little things don't sound like much, but they actually are the key to unlocking your main character. What I have here is a personal charter that I wrote out last year. It's basically a list of all the side characters that I want to be. You can see hints of main character energy here if you read the fine print, but for the most part, it is me rambling about all the things I need to do to cover up my weaknesses. I'm not about to throw this out because this is my life, this is what I do. This year, however, I want to infuse my main character's strengths into each and every one of these. Let's just take Cultivator for example and talk about the cultivation of my abs. I don't know why I'm always talking about my abs. I think it's just a very visually straightforward concept. In past years, I would have been like, oh man, I have to become more of a gym bro than the average gym bro to get six-pack abs. 100 crunches a day, chicken and rice for lunch and dinner. But this year, the abs, they're just a side character. Maybe I'll get a personal trainer to help me whip them into shape when I get around to writing a video about how I developed abs in 30 days. But for the rest of the year, I'm just not gonna think about them. I am settling for the fact that I am not an abs guy. When we use the word settle, there's often a negative connotation to it. And I want to invite you to reconsider that association. Main characters are the ones who settle. It's a beautiful choice when we intentionally pick some way or someone, because then we are writing our own story instead of having the world hand us the leftover plot lines. Anyway, I wish everyone a happy new year, and I encourage everyone to bring some main character energy into it. Remember, it's not what you do, it's who you are. I'll catch you soon. Oh, feeling all chaotic inside? Mind if I come closer now?